What is gap coverage auto? Second auto insurance helps protect you in your car when an additional driver uses the car. If you are a one-car family, it could be used for you and your spouse. Or if you have a teen driver, you will need to add them to your policy as well. The good news is that adding a secondary, third, or even fourth driver is not as expensive as the first. Having a car is an advantage, but when you have a car, you also need to be prepared to take on the responsibilities in having one, and one of these responsibilities is getting it insured before you drive it around. It is a requirement in almost every state that you need to insure the car first before you will be allowed to drive it. This is for the good of the community and to protect everyone when unexpected accidents occur. Cause getting caught in a car accident is a pretty bad case to be in, especially if you are uninsured. For if it is your fault, you will be required to pay for the hospital fees of your victim as well as the repairs for their car and yours. But if you are insured, the company will be the one to pay for your expenses, providing that it is within your policy. Second driver are usually young drivers that are usually put as a second driver under their parents' policy. Some of the parents do this and register their kids as a second driver, for getting a car insurance for young drivers are rather expensive. This is because the insurance companies base their rates on statistics, and it shows that young and new drivers is put in a high-risk category because of their inexperience, which they believe will lead to being involved in an accident. Here are some advantages and disadvantages of having secondary driver under your policy. To some point, you might save some money if you have your child be your second driver, compared to when you get them an auto insurance, which you know that you will pay for a higher premium because of their inexperience in driving. But some disadvantage would be that if you take them as a second, there is a possibility that you might get a dent in your good and clean record, for if they get involved in an accident, then it would be put in your record. Some advantage is that when you put them to be your second, there are ways to get some discounts, and one of these for them to have a good grade. One of the disadvantages of being a secondary driver is you won't have your own car and your freedom to drive at any time you want. Here are some tips and advice for you before you get your children to be a second driver. You have to know about second driver, the advantage and disadvantage that you will have if you have them under your policy. Next is you have a heart-to-heart talk with your children about the insurance, their opinion and what you think, so that they would understand and you could both have a conclusion. Also remember that secondary driver is not for everyone, so you need to see if this suits you and your child. Before you jump into action, think it over and see if you will benefit from it. If not, then find other options which will give you an advantage. Remember that the safety of your children is more important than saving some money, for more money can be earned while life cannot.